Welcome everyone to another members live stream. Let's see who's here. PosTech TV is here early again. That's awesome. Phantom's here early. Wim was here early. Thanks for the kind words about the VTC, Wim. It's great having you. And I was reading your comments a little bit ago about not having GPS. I'm like, yeah, I remember. It's like we had no concept of GPS or mobile phones. Well, that's not completely true. My dad was in the agricultural industry. He supported, he worked for a company that supported farmers. You know, it was a seed company. And he did a lot of remote work. He would be out to the fields and things a lot. And he had one of them radio telephones in his truck. So that was the closest thing we knew to a mobile phone. I didn't even have a clue how it worked. Actually, I still don't very much, even though I've seen videos about how they function. It was kind of like, remember that TV show McMillan and Wife, where McMillan was the police commissioner, I think, in San Francisco. And he had a mobile phone in his car. It was a radio phone. So, yeah. And it, you know, when he talked on it, it's almost as if he was on a regular landline. And I thought, that's not realistic. But I didn't really know for sure. But yeah, I used to have a lot of maps. We all had, that's why we had a glove box to put your maps in. Those ones you buy at the service stations. You have all these fold up maps. Or you'd have the road atlas. Like that. I know it's backwards, but I used a non-trucking version of this, you know, back in the 80s, because I wasn't trucking. I was, you know, I had to get around a lot from time to time when I was in the military and I was traveling from one duty station to another. We had to have maps to know the way. So, yeah, we didn't have any mobile phones. We didn't have any of the modern conveniences. We didn't have fax machines. Not that that would have been helpful for, you know, a traveler necessarily, except if you're trying to fax in paperwork, which is what we used it for back in the day. Yeah, suitcase full of maps. I still have some maps around here somewhere. Yeah, and yeah, good luck being able to use a phone someplace. And at the truck stops, and every once in a while, especially at an older truck stop, you can still see the places where the phones were, either in a hallway off to the side of a hallway. There'd be banks of these things with partitions in between. So, and a count. Oh, jeez. Yeah, you got me again.
You gay strikes again.
Wait. Should I be expecting to see that clipped on the internet later? So, and Discord. Anyway, well, wow, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, banks of phones with the countertop. You had a seat, and drivers could sit at these things, and have their documents out and be on the phone with dispatch or their driver manager or whatever. And yeah, you still see some of those every once in a while. And in the driver's area of the seating area in some of the truck stop restaurants, you could see right there at the end of the table where the table butts into a wall, even if it's a pony wall, there'd be a phone jack right there. And it would have a sign on there that says for drivers use only. So it allowed drivers to call in while they're having a bite to eat. So olden times, back in the dinosaur days. Wegner is here. Thomas Berger, Willkommen. Frohes Neujahr. Lord Dragon is here. Dragon, I see you're driving. You must have got your steering wheel set up working. Keith Cersei is here. Thor is here. A couple of people messaged me, or I had messages waiting for me from a few people that I had set the time wrong for this. And it wasn't even a like 12 hours off. It was like instead of 1200, it was 2205, which is 10:05 p.m. So, and for Wolf, it was 5 minutes after midnight tonight. So I forgot to double check the time before I pushed the publish button. Anyway, see, and Thor was one of those folks that sent me that. Thor and Paz, I think. Dusty's here. Hey, Dusty. Stobbs is here. Do I have one? Well, that's on only because I got the game paused. As soon as I unpause the game, as soon as I can find the game, there, it's gone. If I hit pause, it comes back. So we'll deal with that in a little bit. So let's see. Our first mobile phone was big as a suitcase, and yeah, my first one wasn't that big. I mean, I saw them, but by the time I got my first one, it was a Nokia. One of the early generation Nokias. Robert Alexander's here. Trucker King is obviously here. Okay, Dragon. Interesting, Stobbs. Okay, let's do some shout outs. Wait for a few more people to show. Actually, a few people have shown up. Knee-High Sniper, our top ATS driver for August. Dusty, aka Dirty Dog 3436, our top ATS driver for January, and he is here. Isabella Hagloff, Pilot Bro 39. Is he here? You know, Stobbs, that's an interesting thing you mentioned. Someone is doing a directory of the companies and doing directions for them. That was another thing that truckers could buy at a truck stop, was a book, well, not hard copy, but a physical paperback style booklet that had all of the places in it that not shippers and receivers, but it was a directory of truck stops, rest areas, important things that truckers may find useful, repair shops, all kinds of things. And it was published, probably once a year, and you could buy it. I don't remember how much it was because I never bought one. I didn't feel like I needed one. But it was a directory of services for truckers. And this is another thing you'd carry in your truck and then bring into the truck stop to use the phone to call them if you needed to. But so a lot of them would have little mini maps, basically just in their little local area. Like I was just going to say, like you find a phone book, but some of you probably don't even know what a phone book is. Rob Stricker, aka Lurch, is here in the Discord with me.
Howdy, folks.
Bedrock, our top ATS driver for February. Bill Welborn, Nicholas, Triple XN. Glad you're running some loads, Dusty. I tell you what, we really have met our goal. We'll get to that in a minute. Trucker King 2010 is here. Susan Arthur, our top ETS2 driver for May. XLT 588 Gaming. Silent Dilemma, Norwegian Trucker Nicholas. Big Owl 2424. Well, it's not just the yellow pages, Dragon. The whole phone book, white and yellow. Business directories. Tasmified, everything was hard copy. Lobo 1G, our top ETS2 driver for July. Pugwash. Is he here? I didn't see him. Purdy the Parrot, Big Dave KF, Asgard Drenth Wim, our top ATS driver for September. And our top ATS 2 driver for October is here as well. So, yeah, you know, we recently received a phone book. My roommate left it on the counter out by the kitchen. And I looked at that and I picked it up. And I'm like, it's a phone directory. But it was actually just for businesses. So it was like just yellow pages. I picked it up and I looked at it. I'm like, wow, this takes me back. Adam is here. I didn't actually know they still did that. Because, I mean, Google is where it's at. And then, of course, you got your phone. So, yeah, you can look up anything in the palm of your hand. You have all of the information in the world, just about. All of the useful information. Okay, so let's get on with this little jaunt, shall we?
That little phone that you just held in your hand has more computing power than the first computer.
Than it for computers 20 years ago, even. Well, 30 years ago. Yeah, pretty crazy. Okay, what am I driving today? Who knows? Who wants to speculate? I don't even remember what I'm driving today. It's a blue truck with twin exhausts out the back. And I've got my trailer, my flatbed trailer. I should have thought to ask this question earlier. What am I driving today? Did I already say in the description? Peterbilt 579. That's what I've got.
Get on with it.
Adams is ready for the new year.
Yes, me too. All right, what do we got here? Yes, the GPS is on, but I can turn it off. So I'm going to run, how should I term this? Naked?
TK just said, shut that GPS off.
So I'm going to run naked, meaning I don't even have the route advisor, none of this. I'm going to leave it all turned off. Now, I will have to look at the map because there's just no two ways about it. And it's just the same way I would do it in real life, except it's an electronic map. So we're going to go pick up the load, and I don't need to look at the map for this because I know where it is. It's actually just a little bit behind me. Down the road and around the corner. Look at Kitty sleeping. Oh, now he's awake.
Rerouting.
Uh-oh.
Turn left.
Okay, I don't know why he's still talking. I thought I already dealt with that. Audio. Voice navigation. Goodbye.
How dare you turn me off?
Oh. Oh, all of a sudden we got a parade on this side street.
Wolf says, let's see how this goes.
Now this is not a World of Trucks load. I have to check in for it. So we're going from here. We've got disc arrows. We're taking here from Jackpot. I didn't tell you where I was. I'm in Jackpot, Nevada, going to Ontario, Oregon. So now,
Okay, so Sean made me do it on a Sunday stream.
did you get lost?
Yeah, probably lay down on the job too. He says I missed my exit twice.
I did that yesterday with the GPS.
You know, the saying, bad drivers never miss their exits. So it says you're a good driver.
I don't know that I would agree with that about bad drivers never missing their exit.
Well, says 3 GPS units still missed a turn.
Okay.
It says, man, that engine sounds nice with my car stereo system.
Huh. So I just needed to check a couple things. Okay, good. I wasn't sure I had fuel, so since I'm kind of reverting back to how I would normally do this in real life, although even in real life I would have a GPS. So the first thing I needed to do is look and make sure I got enough fuel to see if I need to plan a fuel stop. And I have plenty of fuel. We're only going 237 miles, so I don't have to worry about fuel. I just have to worry about routing. So let's take a look at the map. I know how to get back onto the main road. There's not many options, so that's easy peasy. Got to head north up here to Twin Falls and just follow the route, US 93, until we get to the exit to get on Interstate 84. So one of the things, because I did practice this a little bit last night in a different profile. Let me tackle this question from Adam quick. Does a reefer trailer work like a refrigerator or a freezer at home? Well, kind of, in the sense that it refrigerates things. The basic theory of operation of a reefer unit on a trailer is the same as your refrigerator or freezer. It is essentially a heat exchanger. So it takes the heat from the contents of the container and removes it and ventilates that heat through radiators and other things. It's basically just a big heat exchanger, and it transfers that heat to the outside air, and it does that using coolant fluids and things like that, and compressors and whatnot. There's a whole science behind it, but it's just a big heat exchanger. Whether it's your freezer, your refrigerator, a little electronic ice box you have, or a reefer unit on a trailer, it's just a heat exchanger. So when it reaches the appropriate point, the temperature point, then it stops working until it needs to work again. So yes, it's just like that. I missed a few. Right. And we're doing the electronic version of that, Wolf. So I'm looking at the map. What's my route? What do I have to think about? And I remember seeing at least one person, and I think I've seen more than one do this, even though they had a GPS, they didn't trust it, and they didn't want to use their phone. So they would literally write directions using a grease pencil, write directions on the inside of their windshield. Up in the top left corner, let me show you what I mean. Right up here, they would write specific notes so that they could actually just glance up and take a look. And if they wanted to, they could even take the grease pencil, and as they pass each thing, they could just put a line through it and keep track of it that way. Another way to do it, which I've done, is, let me freeze this view here. This is literally the booklet that I use to record every load that I did when I was with Schneider. I had a whole bunch of these, and every load that I did, I would record all the information. Well, that's not going to turn out very good, is it? I would record all the information associated with that load, such as the shipment number, the trailer I'm picking up, the number of the trailer, where I'm picking up. Boy, I just cannot even read this because of the green screen effect. All the information I needed with respect to where I'm picking up and then where I'm delivering to. And then I would have, extra blank pages with lines like that. I probably can't even see that. There we go, lines. And I would make notes about directions if necessary. If there's some, like, I wouldn't normally write directions on here because I lived and died by my GPS. So let me hold that up a little bit closer since that seemed to work. Oh, it's all backwards. I forgot. Sorry. Anyway, I would also, or had the option of writing notes on here for directions, and then I just have this handy. In fact, I had this in my truck. I had a little, just right above eye level, where it's a place where you might put sunglasses or something. I had this there, and I could just reach up and look at it, or grab it, look at it while I'm driving, and then put it back up. Never have to take my eyes off the road for more than a split second. So, and the reason why I have this here still is because, first of all, I still use it to write notes on the blank pages, but also because when I'm making my vlog videos, I have all the information handy for everything is associated with the video that I'm making. No, I'm behind.
Which one were you?
The one for Adam when he was asked after the, or no, Wolf said something, but I think I missed some others.
Okay.
Matthew Roth is here. Staub says, I just gravitate to nearest known interstate. I need to freeze this because the clock is ticking. I just gravitate to the nearest known interstate and try and navigate by that or seeing any city names along the way. Pretty much, that's the beautiful thing in the United States. The interstate freeway system is laid out in such a way that it's easy to do that. So I can literally navigate from Seattle to Boston, at least from the metro areas, and I don't need a GPS for that. I don't even need to look at a map for that, because literally the freeway goes all the way, and you'd only need to get off to get fuel, rest, take a break, whatever, eat. Same thing with Interstate 40 from Bakersfield, California. From Barstow, California, all the way to Interstate 95 in North Carolina. You can take I-40. You don't need a map. You just follow the signs. And that's the other thing too that I'll be doing, that I realized that I needed to do more of for this exercise, is I have to pay attention to the signs. I have to pay attention to the speed limit signs. Not that I'm going to be speeding much, but I have to pay attention more to the directional signage, just like in real life. So I've become accustomed to just relying on my GPS in this game. But without the GPS, you got to pay attention to the signage. You got to know where you're going. You got to know how to navigate as a trucker. So, Wim, I wrote down crucial turns on a piece of paper and taped it to the dashboard. Same basic concept, Wim. Same basic concept. And that's basically, I didn't tape it to the dashboard. I had it in my overhead that I could just reach up and grab and bring down. Same concept. I didn't have any tape. Or I could have done that. Yeah, interesting thing. Back to the reefer thing. Trucker King brought up an interesting point. You can use the reefer. Again, it's a heat exchanger, so it'll work the other direction. You can heat up the interior of the trailer. So if you have something that should not be frozen and or should not be allowed to freeze, and you're traveling in winter conditions, even though the trailer is insulated, it still gets pretty cold. And so you can use the reefer to actually maintain a specific temperature. Let's say the temperature of something that you're hauling needs to stay above 40 degrees, but it's 10 degrees outside. That reefer unit will actually heat the interior. Works the same way. You're just reversing the heat exchange process. I can't remember any time that I ever used it for that, though. For stuff that you don't want to free. Yep. Also, Road Atlas can be used as a backup. No GPS needed except service stations. Correct. And even then, you don't necessarily. I mean, a lot of that information. Well, you might have a paper directory. I don't know if those are still available or not. But yeah, this is invaluable as a fallback.
Let me know when you want me to take over.
Yeah, I will. As soon as I start driving. Yeah, I always had the Atlas within arm's reach, just in case. Brenda's post-it notes for the over the phone, very specific directions. Yep. Turn right at collapsed barn. And so yeah. For places that I have been to at least once, or in some cases a few times, I didn't need the GPS to tell me how to get there. I just knew because I'd been there. It's like needing a GPS to find your way home. Really? No, I don't need it. Hey, there's Big Dave. Yeah, well, if I seem to recall that as well. The motor carrier specific atlas showing all the designated, the truck routes. Yes. I'm sorry, I thought it said truck stops. Yes, this does show all of the truck routes. So let's see if you could see this in the camera. You see the lines that are orange? Those are truck routes. And up there in the top right corner, this is Augusta, Georgia. This happens to be the page I opened up to. And this shows the truck routes in and around the actual city. So this being a trucker's road atlas, it literally shows all the truck routes. Now this is Oregon. You see the little dots with the arrows pointing? Those are indicating scale houses. So you need to be prepared for those. You're not supposed to evade them either, by the way. Yes. Trucker's Road Atlas. How old is that atlas? That is 2014. I didn't update it I didn't see any point. It was largely You know, for 2-3 years later, it was still fine. Let's see. Adam, how do you navigate a metro area without a GPS? Well, that can be tough. That's where it becomes a problematic thing. Generally,
Have you?
oh, have I? Not a truck. Not since I was a truck driver. I certainly have, and before we had GPSs or even had route mapping available on our phones. Before we had them, even. You just follow signs. You get a good feel for where you're going, and that's, you know, cities are laid out in a grid, and it's just a matter of learning how the grid is numbered or worded. So when you, I don't want to get off into that too much, but when you get into a city, the road, the street signs, like in one direction, they'll all be numbered, like 12th Avenue, 5th Avenue, 5th Avenue South. So 5th Avenue means it's 5 blocks. 5th Avenue South means it's 5 blocks south of Main Street, usually. Whatever the dividing point is, usually a Main Street. Named streets is a little bit differently, but they also include a numbering system on there. Anyway, I don't want to get off into that. JC Drives is here. Welcome. Yes, you almost missed the stream. Okay, I'm going to get going. I haven't finished mapping yet. So when I get to Ontario, we're going to take the exit we normally take in Ontario, and we're going to continue west and then head out here to the ADM. Now I know where that is, so I think I got this. We'll see. I don't need fuel. Don't have to make a fuel stop. I don't need a rest stop. I might need a pee stop. So what do we got? Disc harrows. Cool. Part of the farm machinery DLC. 11,000 pounds. We got 237 miles to go.
Wolf says, what about coffee?
I got a little left. I will have to stop for coffee. Right now I need some coffee. I don't have much left.
Yeah, I know in my town, south of Veterans Parkway, the east-west roads are mostly numbered. North-south roads are avenues that are named. The north side, it's all named streets. But going east-west, it's streets, and north-south are avenues.
Yeah, that's a good point. Even if they're all numbered, north, south, east, west, one direction will be avenues, the other direction will be street. So 12th Street and 15th Avenue could be an intersection. It's just a matter of learning how different cities name their streets. And there is sort of a convention of how they do that in the US, but there are lots of a lot of exceptions. Because there's a lot of cities on the East Coast that are pretty old.
Susan Salter asked, did you do the Christmas event?
Yes. I streamed it. Or I streamed some of it. But I did finish it, if that's your question. And I've got, I don't have it in this truck, but I've got all the rewards. Yeah, I don't have any of that stuff in this truck.
Just must have missed that.
Yeah, trying to remember when that was. It was before Christmas.
Well, the way my town does things with the roads doesn't make sense. Like, a road can truncate, but on the other side, other side of town, there's a road that's named the same, but north whatever street. It's like, but the two don't connect anywhere.
Right.
Or you might think going around a curve, it's still the same street name. Nope, it changes.
Yeah, that's just some legacy stuff in your town. When a town was originally formed, one of the things that happens is in the process is that it's platted. That's the term for it. And basically it's all drawn out, at least the start of it is all drawn out onto a plat with the streets that go north, south, and east, west. Unless, of course, it's an odd town and then they're diagonal instead.
Yeah, we have some of those.
We have some situations here in Las Vegas, in the Las Vegas Valley, where a road similar to what Lurch was just describing, it'll have a name, and then once you reach a certain point, the name changes to something else. And it may even change again. There are several major roads like that here in Las Vegas. That makes no sense to me at all. So, understanding the road numbering system for the U.S. highways, for the national highways, is important as a trucker. So those two signs we just put, or that sign we just passed, like this one here says West 30. Well, I know that 30 is an east-west highway, primarily. We are on U.S. Highway 93, which is a north-south highway. And we are going, even though we're about to turn east, we're actually going north. Hey, how'd that get turned back on? There we go. Twin Falls.
Susan Arthur says good morning.
Hey, Susan. Welcome to the stream.
Adam says that everyday road atlas is not the same as a trucker's atlas.
That's correct. They're similar because they still show they map the routes, but they're not. The Trucker Road Atlas has information geared specifically towards truckers that regular car drivers don't need, or they just have no use for it. Yep, that's a hospital. I'm using landmarks right now to navigate. Like, I know we're coming up on our turn. Is this it? Yep. And I can see the sign. To Interstate 84 with the arrow pointing to the left. That's how you navigate without a GPS. Follow the signs.
Says, does a trucker's atlas show low bridges, low tunnels, parkways where trucks can't go, toll roads, etc.?
Yes, but not necessarily on the map. They might on the map, but there's a section. Well, first of all, truckers need to stay on the truck approved routes. There'll be none of that on the truck approved route. But sometimes you may need to go a different route to get to a specific shipper or receiver. So there are pages that specifically show all of the low clearance areas in the front of the atlas.
Wolf responded that it will have that info listed in the restricted routes section.
Yes, that is exactly what it is. So here, I know you can't read it, but like for Idaho, here where my finger is, it says low clearance routes or locations. And it'll actually list where it is, the highway, in this case, it's even listing the mile marker, what the actual height is, and it even gives you a map key so you can find it on the map. So if you're doing oversized loads, then you would, yeah, if you're doing oversized loads, then one of your pre-trip things, besides just making sure you got enough fuel, is to go through that section for the areas you're going to be in to see if there's anything you need to be concerned about.
Something that victims of the can opener bridge obviously didn't do.
Right. Well, most of the time they're U-Haul, regular non-truckers driving a U-Haul or RV, and sometimes it's a trucker that just got their head up their butt. I just like that view. Okay, I know that we're coming up on Interstate 84 here. We got a red light. So to the right is east, and coming up on the other side, it will be the route we need to take to go west.
I was thinking of the wrong red light there.
The what?
Oh, I said gotta go in. I was thinking of the wrong red light.
Now, because I scouted ahead the route, I knew that I needed to be in the right lane to do this cloverleaf instead of going up to that light to turn left. So by planning the route in advance, I knew which lane to be in. Well, plus I've done this 100 times in real life at this interchange. This route we're taking right now from Jackpot headed to Ontario, I've literally done that dozens of times in real life. Not because I was doing something in Jackpot, but rather because I was driving through Jackpot and headed to or through Ontario. I'm not speeding, but yeah, I am.
Says, I know in New Jersey, the Garden State Parkway is a no-truck route for trucks, but cars and buses, trucks can take the local highways instead.
Right. New Jersey is very restrictive because there's a lot of roads that are not designed for trucks, at least not modern trucks. In New Jersey and even parts of New York, near New York City, there are areas that you're not allowed to leave the federal road network for more than like a mile to get to a shipper or receiver, because they're not intended for that. And unfortunately, I learned the hard way why that is. I didn't get stuck, but I got into some uncomfortable situations. So I find myself paying much more attention to the road signs because I'm doing this, even though I know this route by heart. I do find that I'm falling back into my truck driver habits of paying more attention to the road signs. Oops. But I know that I literally don't have to turn off of this highway until we get to Ontario. Just like I know these overpasses have more than enough clearance for what I'm doing. I don't have to think about it. Now, if this is New Jersey, I'd have to think about it. I mean, I've literally run into roads. I've driven down roads where the truck route departs from the road you're on to another road to go underneath something and then back, because the actual overpass that's over that road is too low for trucks. I wish I had some video of that. So we should be coming into Boise. Speed limit's dropping to 65. Because this is not a World of Trucks load, I was able to drive 70.
It says it not New Jersey, but other state that have truck route restrictions.
Every state has some kind of truck route restriction that I've found anyway. It's just that New Jersey and New York, southern New York, have more because they're such built up areas, and they were developed, their infrastructure was developed like 100 years ago or more. In the first 100 years ago, before trucks got bigger. It's just more congested there. But every state has restricted areas that are not for trucks. And almost always it's because the roads weren't designed for it.
Yeah, like just southeast of town here, there's a section of the old Highway 10 that's now called Heritage Drive, but there's a big sign there near the quick truck stop there that says no trucks, and then underneath that, not Highway 10. They recently, in the last decade and a half, redid Highway 10 between Stevens Point and here, where it bypasses just about every small town that's in between.
I'm sure I've been that route. So in real life, we'd be coming along up here to the Snake River, which I think we are. Yep, that's the Snake River. And now we are in Oregon, and our exit is right up ahead. And I know that we're not going east to Payette, we're going west into Ontario. West instead of left. Well, actually, we're headed west. Well, we're headed northwest. But I've literally done this exit 100 times in real life. Because when we make a well, we don't have to make a right turn. We just follow the road. There's a truck stop right over there. I've been to many, many times. Spent the night there many, many times. That would be a Pilot Flying J. Well, go figure. I guess I haven't been this route in this truck before now. Well, again, roadsides. I know I got to follow US Highway 20 as if I'm going to Burns to get to this place that we're going to. All right, let me do some shout outs while we're waiting. Cody Old, JJ Man 1982, Nick, Thor Rasmussen, our top ATS 2 driver for January and April. Ipswich, David H74, Matthew Roth, RD04 Dave, our top ATS driver for March. Insane Sim Dude, Troken, Justin Burns, Douglas Williams, Lee Jenkins, JC Drives, Stobbs, Bruce A, Thomas Berger, Tazzy 291, Johnny Hansen, Bogdan BD, Doom 3, Jennifer Roth, Rick Rashid, Robert Alexander. I haven't seen Rick Rashid today. Andrew Black, Phantom 6767.
JJ Man 1982 says, "Hey everybody."
Hey, JJ. And there it is over yonder. Again, we're following the road signs. ADM. This be the place. What is underneath those things? There must be tractors. Now, and just like in real life, I have to sort out where I'm supposed to park this thing. I can't see it on my map because I don't have the GPS. I'm gonna guess it's over here. There it is. Right there.
Hey, I'm here. I got your goods where you want it.
Yeah. I've actually said something very similar to that when I've arrived at a few places. You know, one thing I've noticed with the new T680 Next Gen, I do not like the mirrors. Really do not. I like the concept of having the electronic mirrors, but the actual physical mirror that you still have as a backup, I hate it. But I like these traditional mirrors.
JJ Man says Kitty is getting a suntan.
Yep. I am really distracted by Kitty. I just want to reach up there and rub his belly. Okay. $234 miles. Now I want to look at the map for something specific to this place. Okay, I don't see anything on the map that I was hoping to see. One of the things that I have found, of course, it's on newer versions, newer DLCs than this, but it seems like a lot of the ADMs is where you'll find hidden roads. And I wanted to check something out over here. Well, this doesn't go anywhere. That is a dead end for sure. Yep. I wonder if I can drive over to the right, or am I going to hit a barrier? Well, alrighty then. I don't see any other opportunities for hidden roads here. That was really the only one. Until I saw those Jersey barriers, I thought maybe that would go somewhere, but it does not. Okay, I want to finish doing some shout outs, and I got some other things to talk about. Ryan, John the Bricklayer, Lee01 Mr., David Singh, Vigner Hawkson, CJ Johns 31, Oblivion. Change my view here for just a minute, and I'm gonna alt tab out of this. Do you guys lose in-game sound when I alt tab out? I'm guessing that you do. Okay, Keith Searcy, James Brandt, Wolf Gaming, Taurus F. Ice Bear. Ice Bear is our top ATS driver for June and our top ETS 2 driver for August. PosTech TV. Okay, I thought so. Dr. Jones. Why don't I have all of Dr. Jones' info? He's a top driver for something or another. I got to go back and look now. Stiggy Stigs 122, Lord Dragon, Arnar Hoxon, Colin Percival, Pancake Man, QA Library, Feta M, Jesse 2670, Andrew Moore, Exotic Gaming, Randy Disher, Clearbreak X, Matthew Wolter, Melvin Carender, Carlos DeJackal, Fire Rat, Modern Outdoors, and Big Dog Gaming. A couple things I want to talk about is the fact that the Missouri DLC was announced by SES yesterday. Really looking forward to that. They've got something I didn't even realize whether or not I think that they model it, the underground caverns in Springfield. Looking forward to that. I don't know if it's in the game or not, but there are some of those in Kansas City as well. I never got into any of the ones in the Kansas City area. I got to them, but my trailer was dropped outside in a drop lot outside of the caves. So all I had to do in that case was, like many other places, I just go in, drop my empty in the appointed place, then go over to the loaded trailer area, find and hook my loaded trailer, and then just leave. July 2023. Yeah, I've got the info somewhere. I just forgot to update. When I added him back yesterday, I forgot to update that. But I did do a video of when I picked up a load at one of the caverns in Illinois, Western Illinois. Not far from Hannibal, Missouri. I don't remember the name of the town though. Well, it wasn't actually in a town. It was outside of town, but it was in a cave. I had to drive into a cliff basically. And then, okay. Thanks, Vigner. And then in that same video, because I did it the same day, I drove into, I think it was the same day, drove into the caves in Springfield, Missouri. That was pretty cool. I've even got some pictures I'd like to share at some point, maybe as we get closer to Missouri's release. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to Missouri. I have spent, just like with Kansas, I spent a lot of time in Missouri. Picking up or delivering loads or just driving through Missouri on the freeway. A lot of time. And I like the fact that we're getting farther and farther east with Arkansas and Missouri. I mean, it was great to get Oklahoma. So you could go from Tulsa and then, Interstate 44 on Tulsa down to I-40, and then just head all the way to California on I-40. With Kansas, we got Kansas City, so you could literally drive from Kansas City and Interstate 70 all the way to Interstate 15 in Utah. So, and I did that a whole bunch of times. And then once we get Missouri, we'll be able to drive from St. Louis to points west. Now with St. Louis, Interstate 70 and Interstate 44 both go to St. Louis. So depending on where you're going, if you're going from St. Louis to LA, you take Interstate 44 across southern Missouri through or into Oklahoma until you intersect Interstate 40, and then you take Interstate 40 all the way to Barstow, California, and then Interstate 15 south to LA, and then 15 and 10 to LA. So it's gonna be cool. We're gonna be able to. I mean, I know that there's coast to coast maps, but they're just not the same. Go ahead.
Well, says if they can work out how to MAO it,
Map it.
in the game, they're still working on it and hoping to work out the details. And Adam says, can't wait to cross the Mississippi River.
Well, actually, the Mississippi River is the eastern border of Missouri. So unless they include East St. Louis, which is in Illinois, you won't actually cross the river because the Mississippi River is actually on the eastern edge of Missouri. Yeah, same thing with Arkansas. So if you look at a map, you'll probably be able to see the Mississippi River, but unless they include East St. Louis, which is in Illinois, you won't actually cross it. But maybe they will. We'll see. You can barely hear Lurch. Really? I can hear him fine. He should be coming through Discord fine. Sorry, Lurch, let's do a sound check.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Yeah, you could. I guess I could turn you up a little bit. I could hear him fine, but try it again.
Checking 1 2 3. Microphone test.
Too much. Okay, that should be better. I'm sorry, I forgot to do a sound check before we started. I was distracted. Okay. All right. So the other thing a couple of things I want to talk about. is where are we?
Wolf.
Okay, don't make me mute you now. That should be fine. Because now all of a sudden you're loud because I'm not in the game. So where are we in the virtual trucking company? We are doing awesome. Collectively, the team is doing awesome. We had a goal of finishing the month in 10th place. Now, it's not the end of the month yet. That's tomorrow. In fact, it's tomorrow plus a couple of hours. And so 25 and a half hours or something. Our goal was to finish in the top 10. Currently, we're sitting on 8th place for the month in ATS. The team on the VTC has just done an incredible job. I didn't conceive that we would do this well. I don't even know how many miles have been driven in the last week. But it's incredible. We went from, I don't know, 12th or 13th place and now we're in 8th place. And getting the farther up you go, the harder it is to get there. We're currently sitting on, for the month, 1,040,000 miles. That's impressive. And again, the goal was to get into 10th place. I'd have been happy with getting into the top 10, 10th place. We are in the top 10, but we're in 8th place. And we're holding on to it pretty firmly by about to the tune of 22,000 miles ahead of 9th place right now. We're 300,000 miles behind 7th place, so we're not going to do that. But wow, just wow. Our top drivers for ATS right now is Big Al, who's sitting on over 118,000 miles. Wow. And he did a big chunk of that this past week. Rather Be Truck Sim, also wow, has over 104,000 miles so far this month. He was in the lead until Big Al got some time off. And wow. So, yeah, that's impressive. We're not doing quite so well in Euro Truck because we've been focused on ATS. And as a matter of fact, where are we sitting ranking wise? 280th. Now, there are some people who are driving Euro Truck, and they're helping to keep us from falling much farther behind. But we're in the top 300. That's impressive. I mean, there's a lot more competition in Euro Truck. But we're just focused on ATS right now. And we're finishing out the year strong. So let me tell you a little bit about that.
Susan says it goes by Europe time. Is that correct?
That's correct. So the day rolls over in 1 hour and less than 1 hour and 45 minutes. Yeah. So in an hour and 45 minutes, it'll be December 31st in Central Europe. And then, so one more day, and it'll roll over to the new year tomorrow afternoon, my time. So where are we for the year? I think I will just share my screen. As I remember how to do that. There we go. So this is the year, the entire year. We rank 7th for the entire year, and we have over 10 million miles for the entire year. So this is our first full year with the VTC, and we rank, again, we're in the top 10. We're 7th. And I mean, we've got 2.6 million miles ahead of Shark. Shark has been one of our competitors off and on for the monthly thing throughout the past year. And we're way behind Lady Bear Trucking. They have a lot of drivers, but we're close to them. I mean, if we had another couple 100,000 miles, we could be in 6th place. I'm not saying we're just not gonna, it's just not gonna happen, because quite frankly, we've only got 25 hours and some change. There's just no way. Feel free to prove me wrong, but there's just no way. I don't want you guys to get burnt out though. But look at OTR Trucking. They got a lot of drivers. 75 million for the year. This, I don't care how you measure this. This is impressive. It just is. And this is a testament to the driving force behind Boomer's Trucknado Transport Virtual Trucking Company and its drivers. We have 112 drivers right now. And wow. Let me go back to just this month. So here we
Ipswich
are.
says, is the stream over?
Who said that?
Ipswich.
No, I'm still streaming. I'm just doing a little recap of things. I do need to turn you back down a little bit. Okay.
Ducky says hello and Happy New Year in advance.
Yes. Hey, Ducky.
And Johnny Hansen says hi, Boomer in chat.
Hey, Johnny. Ipswich, to kind of get back to you. Yeah, I mean, I'm done driving. So I'm just kind of going over some things at the end here. So anyway, wow. That's all I got to say. Wow. That is super impressive. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple other things. I made a post yesterday, but this is for VTC members. I know not everybody in here is in the VTC, but I did post an announcement that we've got some changes happening going into the new year. There's actually 3 parts to this, but I only have two of the parts finalized. So just as a reminder to everybody who's in the VTC and the Discord, first of all, moving forward, you need to be in the Discord if you're going to be in the VTC. All new members that we've brought into the VTC recently, we've made sure that they were in the Discord. Also, your names need to match, or at least be reasonably close, so that it's clear who you are. So an example that I used was that Honey Boo Boo on Discord is not similar to Boo Boo Bear or even Yogi Bear on TrucksBook or Trucky. So those are 2 different characters. And we cannot assume that they are the same. The reason why we need everyone to be in the Discord is so that we can communicate with you. The reason why we need your names to match up is, of course, so that we know who we're, dealing with. So when someone gets moves out of recruit status into crew, or from crew to driver, that we're addressing the correct person. Is this so far behind? That is annoying.
Ducky with a milestone chat, 1 year celebrating with a great community.
Glad you're with us, Ducky. I think it's more than a year, isn't it? Yeah. Susan Arthur,
It says
14
member
months.
for 12 months.
It does say that.
Susan asked, is my name okay?
I'd have to look, Sue. I don't remember how you're listed over on Discord. Let's have a quick peek. You got any miles in? It's crazy to me that you wouldn't have any. How are you listed on Discord? Aren't you over there as Susan Arthur? 2. Okay. It'd be better if it said Susan Arthur, but we know who that is. We've only got one Sue in the Discord. So the other thing,
say Susan Salter ever joined, then yeah, that could get confusing.
right? So we implemented this particular rule back in the beginning of November, and then I had mentioned then that we were going to be making the change also for existing members in January. So that's coming up on us in a couple of days. So, wow, Wolf. I hadn't even thought to look at that for myself even. Probably not as good. Well, Adam, it's not about your Steam account. You're not in the VTC because my Steam account isn't matching up the VTC. I'm not sure what that has to do, other than you should have it well, you should have everything match across all social media, if you can. So aren't you in the Discord though? Anyway, let me move on because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this. So the second change involves lowering the minimum number of kilometers for Euro truck from the current 16,000 kilometers minimum per month to 12,000 kilometers minimum per month. And the reason for that, of course, is that it takes longer to do 16,000 kilometers in Euro truck than it does to do the comparable 10,000 miles in ATS. Even though the distances are very close to the same, it's like 16,080 kilometers, I think. But because speed limits in Euro truck are so much lower, so like typically in most countries in Western Europe, the speed limit is 80 kilometers an hour for trucks. That's equivalent to 50 miles an hour in ATS. And there's a lot more delays, reasons to slow down, toll booths, traffic lights, things like that. So we made the decision to make this change a few months ago, and we're implementing it beginning on January 1st. So if there was no questions about that, then I wanted to talk a little bit about the third change that I haven't finalized the wording on yet.
Susan's got another question. She says, yes, I am Susan Arthur in Discord. I will change it later. What about the name that shows when you're in convoy?
Okay, so you're Susan Arthur in Discord, as far as I recall. So just going by the name Sue, here in Discord, I'm getting confused. In TrucksBook, I still know it's you because I know you, but it's not the same. It should be the same. Hey, Nicholas, welcome. What's up? All right, the last thing that I'm going to be posting about, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up, is we're changing the prize structure for the VTC top driver and second place and runners up. So the short version is that we're now going to use the oh my goodness, I should be looking at my notes. That might help since I'm at a loss for words at the moment. Currently, the custom truck skin and the one-on-one convoy for top driver were treated sort of separately. And not really, but kind of. The truck skin was limited. You could only win one every 3 months, but you could still do the convoy each month. And now we're going to change, and those two things will be tied together, and you can only win that package once every 3 months. So, but the top driver is still always going to get the special role added to their profile. What we found is that we already, when we instituted the time frame for the custom skin at the beginning, we did that because otherwise Trucker King would just be overwhelmed with constantly creating skins, and that didn't make sense. Well, now we're running into the same problem with the convoys. So we've actually got a backlog of one-on-one convoys to do, and some people have got multiples. And not that there's anything wrong with that in concept, but what we're finding also similarly is that in many cases it's the same people that keep winning the things, and it's a testament to their driving skills and longevity. But hey, Paul, welcome to the stream. But we want to give more people an opportunity to win either the skins and or the convoys. So currently, or well, moving forward, there's three parts to the prize for the top driver. The special role, which that's not changing. Whoever that is, and regardless of their eligibility for anything else, like if they're brand new and this is their first month and they still get top driver, they're getting the role. So long as they're still in the VTC at the end of the month. We have run into a problem where we had a top driver who was top driver at the end of the month, but had left before the end of the month. So they're basically out, even though they're technically top driver. So we just moved it down to the next person. So what we'll be doing is the top driver, assuming they're still in the VTC at the end of the month, they get the role no matter what. If they're eligible for the truck skin and the convoy, they get that as well. If they're not eligible because they've gotten one within the last 3 months, either the truck skin or the convoy, if they've gotten that in the last 3 months, then they're not eligible for that part, and that package moves down to second place. If second place is not eligible for the same reasons, and it's not just 3 months for the custom skin, you do have to be a member of the VTC crew, which means you've got to fulfill the requirements for 2 months in a row to be moved up to crew. So basically it's your third month. If you do meet their requirements immediately, or like in the first 2 months, it's the third month that you qualify for that. So, but outside of that, we'll just move the prize down to second place. And then if second place person's not qualified, then we'll move it down to the third place, but then we'll cut that off. If second place gets the first place prize, their prize, or for whatever happens, their prize will move down. It'll only move down, which is a choice, truck skin or convoy. Some people will not be eligible for the truck skin because they're too new, but they still get the convoy, just like now. So their prize can move down to third place or fourth place, and then we'll cut it off the convoy or the choice. See, this is why I'm having trouble wording this, because I'm tripping over my own tongue. But that'll move down to the fourth position, and then it will cut it off. Runners up used to get to choose the same as second place: truck skin if they're eligible, or a convoy. Now it's going to be just a convoy. So, and that's anybody who didn't win one of the other things. So how they qualify or win that thing isn't really going to change. So hope that's clear as mud. This is why I've been struggling with getting the wording done. I know not everybody in here is in the VTC, but I did want to share that, because the change is going to go into effect Monday. So I am going to wrap things up here. Let me turn this off. Once again, I want to say that y'all have done a heck of a job. Those of you who are in the VTC have done a heck of a job driving, especially this month and this whole year. 10 million miles. Wow. That's a lot. And I've been helping this month, driving more than I normally do. I think my own personal miles, I don't even know where I am at the moment. Where am I? Where's Boomer? What did I do? 500. Oh my goodness, I can't even think. There I am. I have 736 miles today. That's a run that I did last night and the run I just finished. So I personally have 16,900 miles, which is more than I usually do. I've been a little motivated this month to drive a little extra. So, yeah, we could do better next year. Wouldn't it be awesome if we finished out the year with 12 million miles? That's 100,000. No, it'd be 1 million miles a month. I can't do math right now. How awesome would that be? So, I am going to wrap it up here. The next live stream will be at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Central European time. What is all this stuff going on? Johnny Hansen, 11 months. Yeah, Wolf, it would be awesome to hit 1 million miles every month. That would be cool. That would be cool. You know, something I don't say enough also is that I'm really grateful for all of you that show up. All of you are members, and I know some of you have gifted memberships, but still, you're here. We've got 22 of you here. I don't know how many likes. We got 17 likes, 18 likes. Need more likes. Yep, 18.
Don't make me get
19. 19 likes. So, and I should have said this last weekend because it was before Christmas, but still the same is true. I'm really, really glad that y'all are here. I'm glad I'm glad we've had this time together. So it is nice. But be back here later if you're up and about, 9 p.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Central European time. So we'll do it again some more later. Thanks for the coffees, the super chats, super stickers, all the things. But most of all, thanks for being here. We'll see you guys later.